Good day and welcome ECE 240. And here we are on chapter 4, physical development and health. Before we get started, I just think it's really important for you to keep on trying with APA. I'm seeing some good stuff out there, but keep on committing yourself to trying APA in your discussions, of course, in your observations that will give you the advantage to be very comfortable with APA when it comes to your iSearch paper. Number 2, I want you to just take a moment and think about what are the top 3 things you have learned so far this semester. Kind of close your eyes really quick. Think about those top 3 things that you think are really important that you have learned. For example, 80-90, nature versus nurture, the importance of prenatal care, developmental theories. The list can go on and on. But I want you to rank those from number 1 to number 3. Just close your eyes really quick and rank those in the importance of what you have learned so far. All right. Thank you so much for doing that with me. This week, we are going to really focus on the brain. And so you've learned about the importance of 80-90, and we're going to dig really deeper into the power of our brain, how important our brain is, and the critical years, that first 5 years of life, to support brain development. You'll see right here that we're going to start with brains are built over time from the bottom up. And we're going to watch a little video that supports this first point. Number 2, brain architecture is comprised of billions of connections between individual neurons across different areas of the brain. And that is the most critical, important thing, is that we are connecting as many neurons as possible. And here goes to that 80-90. In the first years of life, more than 1 million new neuron connections form every second. This is really the only time this happens in our life. So we can build these streets, avenues, pathways, freeways, trolley, train rides, all of that within this 80-90 time period. And it is. We talked about nature versus nurture, and now we're going to shift that it's with nature and nurture, the interactions of genes and experience shape the developing brain. And we're going to really shift in this class. See, the genes are out of our control, but it's that nurture that is in our control of how to support brain development. And this week, we're going to lay that foundation of things that we can do, us as adults, as leaders, as supporters of young children, the things that we can do. We're going to add tools to our belt to be able to shape and support and actually optimize the developing brain. And it's this quote that I love: the attention and environment you provide shapes your child's brain development for life. And that's right. It is that critical 80-90 time period that sets the foundation for us later in life. So I want you to play a game with me really quick. So I have both of my hands, and of course I'm a little backwards, but this is my left hand. Okay, I am a lefty, and I'm gonna move it forward. So I want you to do this with me. Get your left hand and move it forward. I want you to get your right hand and then move that backwards. Okay? Now what I want you to do at the same time is move your one hand forward and one hand backwards, and try to do it at the same time. Once again, one forward and one backwards. The initial reaction is that we kind of stop, right? Once again, forward and backwards and try to do it at the same time. And then what happens is that we're kind of doing it both at the same time and not really allowing one to go forward and backwards at the same time. It's a pretty difficult process. Why is that? Well, our brain is divided into two hemispheres, a left and a right side. And for those of us that are lefties, we use more of our right-hand side. There's an X in our body, okay? And then if you're right-hand dominant, you're going to use more of your left side of the brain. Within this opportunity, how beautiful can it be to create neuron connections that go from both sides of the brain, allowing us to empower and use both sides of the brain? We are going to learn about the power of the brain this week. And we're going to get into watching some cool videos that really give us insight to the power of the brain. So this is what I want to take us to really quick. I have a cool video that I want us to see. Let's see if I can pull that over here. Great. So this is called the First 5 Years Fund. Really great website. And one of the things I want to do is consider the following around the importance of the first 5 years. More than 1 million new neural connections are formed every second in the first 5 years of life, or the first few years of life. The brain is the most flexible and adaptable to learning during the earliest years of life. This is why it's so easy for children to acquire and learn language during the first years of life, because how the brain is the most flexible and adaptable during this time frame. Number 3, children who face greater adversity are at far greater risk for delays in their cognitive, language, or emotional development. And we're going to hit those pieces later in this semester. But things like living in poverty, abuse, can actually have the reverse effects on brain development and difficult to overcome later in life. Children are already rehearsing how to produce language at 7 months old. So once again, this critical opportunity within 80-90 to support language, where the brain, coming back to this earlier one, is the most flexible and adaptable to support language development. Even as babies, children are learning the social and emotional skills that determine their future ability of social capabilities and capacities. Life is all about being social beings and how we interact successfully in relationships and with working environments with others. And we start to learn and use these skills even before we're 1 year old. A supportive learning environment reduces the risk of children experiencing developmental delays. And this is the opportunity we have. We get to create a supportive learning environment. Now I want you to watch this very quick 3-minute video with me.
The healthy development of young children in the early years of life literally does provide a foundation for just about all of the challenging social problems that our society and other societies face. What we're learning from exciting developments in neuroscience and molecular biology is how much early experience from birth, in fact, even before birth, how much this experience literally gets into our bodies and shapes our learning capacities, our behaviors, and our physical and mental health. The brain is basically built from the bottom up. First, the brain builds basic circuits, and then more complex circuits are built on top of those basic circuits as we develop more complex skills. Biologically, the brain is prepared to be shaped by experience. It's expecting the experiences that a young child has.
And what are those experiences? Those experiences are our nurture. The intentionality of the experiences, the relationship, the love that we provide that child comes from us, the adults, of how we set those experiences up for our children.
To literally influence the formation of its circuitry. The brain is a highly integrated organ which has multiple sections that specialize in different processes. Parts of the brain are involved more in cognitive function, and other parts that are involved in processing of emotion, and parts involved in seeing and hearing. So if a child is emotionally well put together, that will affect more positive and productive learning. And if a child is preoccupied with fears or anxiety, no matter how intellectually gifted that child might be, his or her learning is going to be impaired by that kind of emotional interference. So when we talk about healthy development in the early years, and particularly when we talk about preparing children to succeed in school, we cannot separate cognitive development from social and emotional development. You can't have one without the other. So when children experience stable, nurturing relationships, it fosters the development of healthy circuitry. And when children experience uncertainty or instability, it literally disrupts the circuitry and the brain's architecture as it's being built. Over time, this has a wear and tear effect, and the more stress you have, the more likely you are to have a whole range of problems later on. And this is why excessive, prolonged stress early in life is associated with a higher prevalence later, not only of learning problems and behavior difficulties, but also physical and mental health problems. The brain is optimally flexible and plastic early in life, but as it develops its circuitry and refines its circuitry, it loses some of its flexibility, which is why intervening early is so important, because as we often say, when it comes to brain circuitry, it's better to get it right the first time than to try to fix it later.
Wait, let me put that really quick one more time. This last statement is so powerful.
Intervening early is so important because, as we often say, when it comes to brain circuitry, it's better to get it right the first time than to try to fix it later.
And that's the power that we have. We have the power to get it right the first time, 100%. So what do I have for you this week? All right, let's bring that up. Let's bring our module for the week up here. Let's see here. All right. You have a discussion for the week, which is titled Brain. For that discussion around the brain, I want you to tell me what activities you would do to shape the brain development in an infant's brain. So think about if you had your own infant child, what would you do to help shape the infant's brain neural connections? And then also, both infancy and adolescence, teenage years, are times of significant change in the brain. I want you to compare and contrast these changes. Also due on Sunday, you have a quiz to really enhance your learning of what you're doing in the reading of our class, our book. I have some videos I really want you to watch. Once again, the videos are this. Let me go back there and find them really quick. I want you to watch that quick little video on, I'm sorry, you guys. Let me see here. I'm trying to get my mouse to work here. All right. Brain Hero, quick little, less than 5 minutes. Another video on how brains are built. Okay. Another one that really gets deeper into what is brain architecture. This video is going to blow you away. It's a little bit longer. I think it's about 10 minutes, but really a must watch. This one compares our brain to the internet, and this was going to blow you away. Please take the time to watch that video. A great video is going to enhance your learning this week. Okay. And then we're going to start getting into some videos that get into the teenage brain as well. So those of you really interested in those adolescence years, what I have for you here then is the ability to get deeper into The teen brain under construction, transformation of the teenage brain, and insight into the teenage brain. Some really great videos. I really want you to learn about ACEs. We've done a little bit of that in previous weeks, but that toxic stress, this gets deeper in how that toxic stress impacts brain development. And then when talking about the ability of extra credit, and you want to learn more about the activities and things that you can do to support brain development, there is this website called Vroom. And I want you to explore that. And then there's an extra credit assignment along with Vroom to support you in your learning. And then you can get some extra credit points just by downloading the app and using it. And it's a great tool for you to have to really empower you to know of everyday simple activities that you can do to empower brain development. That's what I have for you guys this week. I really hope you have the opportunity to really watch these videos here. These are a little bit of extra for you to watch to get deeper into the content. And then, of course, with extra credit, here's a great tool to add to your belt already. On Vroom. Vroom has a parent section, a professional section, a downloadable app. There's so much cool stuff there to empower families to understand what you're just learning this week. The importance of 80-90, the first 5 years, the importance of brain development and the critical time that we have within that time to get it right. And how we get it right is by our nurture and our support and our ability to impact brain development by our interactions. I wish all of you a great week of learning and look forward to reading your discussions. Everyone take care. Thank you.